it was a book that my children were given when they were little.
You work with kids?
What's that?
You work with kids?
Yeah, I've worked with everybody. Yeah. But I actually have been, this week, I've been reading this children's story. It's called You Are Special. I don't know if you guys can see it. And I've been reading it to my clients that are adult clients. And I feel like one thing I love about children's stories is that they're so simple in their point and in their truth. And overall, the message of this book, actually, maybe I'll just summarize the book and I'll let you guys get it if you want to, because I can go through what it is. But it's called You Are Special. It's by Max Lucado, I think, Lucado. And what it is it's a story about what I teach as a meditation teacher about connecting with Source. And so in the storybook, it's kind of written in the storyline, kind of like it's about a bunch of wooden people, and the creator, the wood carver, represents, to me, it represents Source, or you could call it God, but it's the creator. All the wooden puppets are humanity. And so there's a puppet in the story that, it talks about how in this society, all these wooden people, they will give each other stars or dots. And so if the little puppets or wooden people are good, and if they're talented, if they're pretty, they get a star. And if they're not, if their wood's chipped, or if they fall, they say something silly, they get a dot. And so throughout the journey, there's some puppets that have lots and lots of stars. Everyone loves them. It's like our society. Movie stars, oh, you get a star. We like you. You're pretty. You are talented. We love you. We will listen to anything you have to say. Someone that stumbles, they fall, you get a dot. You get a dot. The more dots you get, you start to feel comfortable hanging around other people with lots of dots. This could be like the journey of a criminal. They're like told they're bad when they're in school. They're told they're a loser. You're a screw up. They start to believe it. Then they start only hanging out with others who have also been told this, and it starts to create a different shift of where they feel they belong. So in the story, there's a girl who, when I read this story to my children years ago, I knew that is who Tanya is going to emulate. I am going to be like that girl because she understands wisdom. And in the book, her name is Lucia. And Lucia is a girl that people will come up to her, the wooden people will come and try to put stars on her because she's pretty, and they fall off. They come and try to put dots on her because she doesn't have any stars, and they fall off. And no matter what, they try to stick these marks on her, and they won't stick. And this puppet, the book is named Punicello, the story. He sees her, and he's just in awe of that. He's like, how is that possible? How come none of the marks are sticking on her? So he gets to know her. He asks her, what's going on? Like, how come when they stick these stars and dots, they don't stick? And she was like, well, every day I meet with the wood carver, and you should meet him. And he's just like, well, where is he? So he ends up going to meet the wood carver. He's a little nervous about it because he's not sure that he's worthy. And when he goes to see the wood carver, it's a little overwhelming. It's this big shop with, all the tools that he makes the puppets with. And when he's there, the wood carver sees him, calls him by name, and is so glad to see him and says he's been waiting to see him for a long time. And so Punicello is asking questions, and he's trying to get to know what the wood carver's about. And the wood carver sees he has all these dots on him. And so he's like, I see you got a lot of marks there. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I guess, I tried. I've been trying to do my best. And the wood carver says to him, it doesn't matter what all the other, they were called what are they called? The Webbits or Wemmicks. They're the Wemmicks is what the name of the wooden people are. And he's like, it doesn't matter what the other Wemmicks think. All that matters is that you know that I love you and that you're special. And that I created you, and I don't create mistakes. And so he's visiting with the wood carver. This is the symbol of each of you plugging into Source. You're in meditation. You're in your prayer time, not just talking, but listening, connecting, having your vibration raised, tuning into higher consciousness to find solution, to find the answers, to find the guidance, to come into that higher vibration, to receive healing, to receive wholeness, to visualize your abundance, to visualize your healthy relationships and create them in that conscious little bubble of creation. When we're in meditation, it's such a powerful place. And so the book is representing that. When this girl, Lucia, goes to visit the woodcarver source, she's connecting, she realizes she's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's worthy, she's powerful, and that all these other societal beings that are out of alignment, that are not visiting the woodcarver, that are walking around giving each other marks like, let me give you a compliment because there's something in it for them, and they want to give you something to probably get something. And the ones that don't like you, they come and put a dot on you because you don't look like them, you don't think like them. This is the game of society. And what I love about this children's book is it really puts in perspective that when we tune in and we visit the woodcarver, God, source, we understand our true worth, we understand our true power, and we find peace and we find joy and ease. And now when I'm in the world, and I have become like Lucia, it was my intention and I have aligned with it. Now in society, there are times when I have someone come and project hatred and anger at me, and I observe it, and I'm like, not about me. Thank you anyways. And I move on with my day, and that dot falls. It cannot stick to me. There are days where I have some that come to me and they're like, Tanya, you are so amazing. Oh my God, I wish I could be like you. And that star does not stick because I just mirror to them. I am here to mirror to you your own alignment. You do not need to make me a guru. You do not need to bow and worship me. You don't need to see anything about me being separate from yourself. You just need to see that I am mirroring to you your own beauty, your own light, your own potential. So when we're in that alignment, like Lucia learns, she is at ease. None of the marks, none of the stars or dots or judgments or compliments matter to her. She doesn't need them. And I feel like that's what I hope to mirror to others. Hold on, my phone's doing some weird noise. What is it doing? Oh my God, I'm having weird technical things. But when we're really in our alignment and we're practicing meditation, I can tell you this from truth, from experience. I cannot teach any of you guys watching a thing. I can talk to you, but if none of you put it into practice and you don't experience it yourself, you will not know. You'll think about it, it'll be a theory. So if you want to know how powerful you are, if you want to know how worthy you are, if you want to know how you can heal anything, how you can find the solution to anything, if you want to know how amazing you are and how important it is that you actually align with who you are while you're here and be authentically 100% Amnon or Tanya, like we be who we are and not cater to others' need to control that, I promise you, you will feel joy, you will feel expansion, you will feel an experience of abundance, and everything you love will come to you. No matter what the external movie may be, you will feel joy and you will feel power and alignment because you're being honorable to self. You're not betraying self. And I feel like that's the overall big picture reason that I'm on this planet as a healer and as a speaker on this show and as an artist and everything I do. I'm writing a children's book and all these things I'm doing are to help guide us back to that alignment, help to bring us back to that connection with Source so that we all thrive because every single one of you deserve to. Every single one of you are worthy of it. Not any of us are not worthy because of where we were born, the color of our skin, if we're gay, if we're white, black, Mexican, it doesn't matter. And I just wrote a blog, if any of you guys are interested in reading it, it was on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, on the anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. And I wrote a blog, my last blog, if you go on TanyaAngel555.com, and you go and read that blog, it's about us continuing his dream. And I feel like people in leadership like Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, there's been so many, but these are some of the big ones we know of that have come to the planet, and they were very, very aligned no matter how many people hated on them, tried to like cause them damage. Well, I could say they weren't always aligned. Nelson Mandela in the beginning, not aligned. He actually used vengeance and hate in the beginning, and it got him in prison. But he learned a lot about that journey, and when he came out, he realized that they had to be above that. They could not become what they hated. They had to forgive. They had to speak truth. They had to stand in their power and definitely stand up for their rights and express them. But becoming hateful and vengeful was never going to serve them. So when we start looking at these leaders, we can see how we've seen a lot of evolution on our planet. We've seen those that have come to blaze that trail to clear the way. But we have to continue the work. Each of us continues that work by being in alignment, by living a life of integrity and being authentic, and by making sure that we are not enslaving other souls. No matter how that enslavement can show up, we don't choose to participate. Because it doesn't matter if it's an African American issue, or right now it's a lot about gay rights issues. Let people do their thing. Let people love who they want to love. Allow people to sit in a restaurant. They are just as worthy as you. We have to start popping these belief systems that tell us that some of us are superior and others are inferior. The reason we continue to cling to this stuff is because some of us actually are in an ego place where we really like to feel like we're better than them. We really like to believe that if I'm in this religion, I am the chosen one and all of you are going to go to hell, because that makes me feel more safe and more powerful. It's out of alignment. And so even if you do that and you get millions of people to join your misaligned club, it is not going to make that misalignment any more truthful. And in truth, it's not going to make you happy. I see them. I watch people all the time that do this. They're not happy. So we really need to get into a place where we clear that. We start to pop these belief systems that we see that are really causing a lot of enslavement. And we need to come back to our own authentic space of alignment, and we will live joyous, happy lives. It's not that hard, but it will take a lot of courage. I feel the more that we each do this, the less courageous it's going to be one day. It will just become natural. But right now, when the collective is insane and the scale is very tipping in the favor of the darkness, there's light coming in, and there may look like you're all alone. I have definitely felt at times that I am standing alone in the darkness, but I know I'm not. My angels, my guides have assured me, you are not alone, but you are the light bringer. Do not give up on what you're doing. Keep blazing the trail with that light, because eventually others will turn their lights on and they will start to go into that alignment with you. So we got to look at that in our own lives. Are we sitting around waiting for other people to heal, and that's why we're not? Are we in the rescue mode? Are we trying to be saviors and go save people at the cost of ourselves? Idiot compassion? Dalai Lama totally thinks that's not a good idea. I've heard him talk about that. So we got to look at, if we're really loving ourselves and we're really focused on our work, we are going to be looking in the mirror and addressing our shadow. We're going to be looking in the mirror and seeing, where is it that I'm participating in the insanity of the collective? Where is it that I am able to shift this so I can transcend that darkness and I can turn that shadow energy into light? I can blend it into a new way. This is what we are capable of, and I feel it's what we are all here to actually do, but we have to have the courage to come back into alignment, and we have to have the courage to be our true self. Me speaking this right now, there could be consequences. There could be. And I'm sure in some countries there'd be instant, swift consequences, but these are things we have to stand up for so that we all have our freedom of expression. I definitely value that. I live in a country where I'm allowed to do that, at least for now, and I hope it stays that way and gets better. But we need to see that it's not like that for everyone, and the way it's going to shift is by us doing it. Even if you live in a country where others are saying they're going to kill you for being in your alignment, in your truth, in your power, I feel it would be better to stand in my alignment and power and lead others through that inspiration than to cower and fall into shame and enslavement and lead everyone there with me. So it's a choice. There you go. It is a choice, and it is a courageous choice. There may be times where you do this and you may lose a job, you may lose a life partner, a friendship, someone may leave your movie. But I've learned this myself. Whatever leaves is meant to, and whatever leaves is creating space for what is meant to come in. And you may be blown away of how beautiful of a life you can have when you start standing in your power and living in alignment and living with authenticity.